Hey pretty socialites, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this cute custom letter name crop top using charms. I made mine from scratch using my sewing machine and a sewing pattern, but you can also make it if you already have a crop top that you would like to customize if you don't sew. All supplies and patterns used are linked in my description and on the Seams of a Socialite blog.
I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making me high. I'm staying in this moment, though it's hard sometimes, but I work it out every once in a while. I feel the love, I feel it growing every day. I feel the love, I feel the love.
Okay, so the top is done. As you guys can see, my tag is inside, and now I'm going to start to add the grommets to the bottom of the top. To zip through supplies used, I used a pattern that's linked on the blog, 4-way stretch fabric, my charms, grommet tool, lobster clasp, grommets, pliers, scissors, O-rings, my pins, my rotary cutter, and my sewing machine. Okay, so before we start making holes in the top, I'm going to show you guys how to do that on some practice fabric. So if you notice here, I have my grommet, I have a jump ring, a lobster clasp connecting that, another lobster clasp, and then I have my letter charm. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to take my practice fabric here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is make a dot. And make sure that you're using a marker, something that is not too dark. And now I'm going to use this tool right here to point and make a hole through that dot. Once I have my hole, I'm going to make sure that the hole is big enough for my grommet to fit through it. So I'm just going to make just a little snip, a tiny snippet. And that's going to open up the hole a little more. I'm going to take this part of my grommet, and I'm going to take the back part of my grommet, and what I'm going to do here is push this through to make sure that on the back end the grommet completely, or the fabric completely covers the grommet, just like that, as you can see. And it'll look like this from the front. Okay, so once you have the grommet secured in there, you're going to take your grommet tool and you're going to just slide that fabric in between here and make sure that the top part of your grommet tool gets pushed up on that, just like this. It's very simple and easy. Then you're going to take your bottom piece right here. You're going to make sure the flat side is facing upward. You're going to push that right there. It's going to fall right in that little place and secure. And all you're going to do is take the tool and squeeze it so that both of those top and bottom pieces come together, and squeeze it as tight as you can so that once you take it off, you actually have your grommet applied, and it's that simple. So I'm gonna cut excess fabric because on my actual top we're not gonna have as much fabric after we have to apply the charm. So now I'm going to need my lobster clasps and my O-rings and my letter charm. So I have all of that right here. So I'm going to take out the biggest lobster clasp, and I'm also going to have my pliers. So I'm going to open up this lobster clasp just like this. Open it up as wide as I have to so that I can literally push that inside here. And once I do that, I'm going to take that and I'm going to close it right back up again using my pliers. Okay, so now my ring is attached. So now I'm going to take my lobster clasp, I'm going to open it right up, and I'm going to attach it to the ring. So the lobster clasp and the ring is attached now. I'm going to take another ring, which is much smaller. And if you purchase this little ring kit, you'll be able to have all of those in one. I'm going to open this up And I'm going to put it at the end of this lobster clasp ring. Push this in there. And then I'm going to pick this up, my letter charm, and I'm going to push that in there as well. And I'm going to close this one up. That's how you apply the charms, even if you're not sewing the shirt, even if you just have a shirt at home. That's how you're going to apply every single charm. Okay, so I'm going to grab my top, and then I'm going to take this ruler that I have, and I'm going to measure from here to here. And I see my top is about 12 inches from there. So I have 7 letters that I'm going to be using, as I'm going to be using the words pretty tea. So I'm going to need 7 grommet. I'm going to take a marker, and right above my seam line of the shirt, I'm going to make a dot, and each dot is going to be about an inch apart from each other. So I'm going to start at the 2.5 mark line, and I'll start here. I'll make my first dot, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, 7. Okay, make sure everything is matching up on both sides. Move it over as you please to make sure you have the same amount of space on one side that you have on the other. And then now you can start using your tools to apply all the grommets. My grommets have been applied. They look very nice and neat, and that's what the top looks like so far. This is gonna look so good. Just keep in mind, make sure everything is lined up. Make sure everything is not too far down. You see this one was a little lower than most of them, which is still fine. So just make sure your grommets are lined up. And now it's time to apply our charms and lobster clasp and O-rings with our little tool. And the top is done. Perfect. All the charms are aligned. It's dangling nicely. The shirt fits. And that is how you do a custom letter name top. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial.